Hello everyone. This is Michelle Hodges, the Dyslexia and Literacy Intervention Specialist for the Arizona Department of Education. Thank you so much for joining us for this assessment video series, where we will showcase the universal screeners and vendors who have been approved to meet the needs of the Move On When Reading and Dyslexia legislation for the 2020-2021 school year. Although this video series does not replace the extensive training provided by each individual vendor, this series is a brief overview of each approved screener and may also be used to assist schools and school districts in making a universal screener selection. It was well put by the International Dyslexia Association. Screening measures, by definition, are typically brief assessments of skills or abilities that are highly predictive of a later outcome. Screening measures are designed to quickly differentiate students into two groups, those who require interventions and those who do not. A screening measure needs to focus on specific skills that are highly correlated with broader measures of reading achievement, resulting in a highly accurate sorting of students. The following Move On When Reading and Dyslexia legislative requirements can be found in A.R.S. 15704. Each child who enters kindergarten through 3rd grade will be given a universal literacy screener within 45 days of entry, as well as screened during winter and spring benchmark periods. This benchmark data will be submitted to the Move On When Reading team by October 1st, February 1st, and June 1st, which follows the normal Move On When Reading requirements. Each approved vendor has been through a rigorous vetting process by the Arizona Department of Education's Request for Information procedures. Each vendor provided extensive and technical information to ensure their product met the following requirements. The submeasures shown here are broken down by grade level. You will hear directly from the vendors how their assessment tool measures each of these indicators. Universal screening tools should be administered by individuals who have taken the minimum training deemed appropriate by the vendor. All assessors should also follow the vendor's specific guidelines and recommendations for valid implementation. It takes deliberate and additional training to accurately interpret and analyze screening data. It is important to remember that screening alone does not diagnose dyslexia. Richard Selznick best reminds us, dyslexia screening is a tool for identifying children who are at risk of this learning disability. This means that screening alone does not diagnose dyslexia. Rather, it indicates predictor variables, so parents and teachers can intervene early and effectively. Universal screening of all students is the important first step. Now I will turn it over to one of Arizona's approved vendors.
We are excited to present the new STAR assessment solution to ADE. The STAR assessments measure every area defined in the RFI. STAR Adaptive measures phonological and phonemic awareness, phonics, sound and letter correspondence, and sound symbol recognition, along with the newly developed STAR CBM, which provides one-on-one curriculum-based measures for rapid naming skills, nonsense word fluency, and oral reading fluency. Throughout all of our innovations in educational assessment, STAR has maintained its commitment to 3 key principles. Our assessments are purposeful, one assessment that can be used as a screener, a diagnostic, progress monitoring, and more. Proven, we are highly rated by the National Center for Intensive Intervention, or NCII. And powerful, in 20 minutes or less, we deliver reliable and valid results. Other longer tests lose student engagement, especially our youngest students. We give you an efficient yet reliable way to screen your youngest students in literacy. The STAR Arizona Literacy Assessment provides an accurate picture of the transition from pre-reading to independent reading using the Arizona-specific Learning Progressions Developmental Continuum. STAR CBM is a series of curriculum-based measures, while STAR Early Literacy and STAR Reading are computer adaptive assessments. Working together, the 3 tools accurately pinpoint milestones along the road of reading skills development. As a result, educators can identify students at risk for a significant reading deficiency and provide appropriate support. The STAR Arizona Literacy Assessment can be used for many different purposes, above and beyond the universal early screening requirement. Having one assessment that not only serves as your universal early literacy screener, but also provides a wealth of other academic data and instructional guidance is an efficient and effective way to support your students. Now let's talk a bit about the required submeasures for screening and show you some samples of how STAR assesses each measure. Using a combination of our CBM and computer adaptive screening tools, the STAR Arizona Literacy Screener covers all of the required submeasures, giving you the information you need to serve all of your students. The STAR CBM screening tool is a series of efficient timed measures that are administered one-on-one between an educator and a student, giving educators a keen insight into student needs. Each measure has many different forms to support multi-purpose use between the required screening windows. There are two rapid naming measures, one for pictures and one for colors. These 1-minute RAN tools allow a clear assessment of rapid naming skills for young students who may not yet be readers. Students name as many pictures or colors correctly in 1 minute as they can, which is one of the important early indicators of the characteristics of dyslexia. Nonsense word fluency is another CBM measure for kinder and first graders. In this measure, the student will read the nonsense words aloud as the teacher points to each one. The number of correct words in 1 minute is scored. The final CBM measure you will use to meet Arizona requirements are the oral reading fluency passages for grades 1 through 3. Students will read the passage aloud for 1 minute and the total correct words are counted. The remainder of the submeasures required by Arizona are covered by our computer adaptive tools. Computer adaptive tests, or CATs, adjust the items presented to the student based on the way a student is answering. The items presented get easier or more difficult throughout the course of the test. This assessment method is an extremely reliable and valid way to identify students who need literacy intervention. Start Early Literacy is an audio-focused test with a variety of image and visual prompts to support pre-readers. An introductory video and some basic device operation items support first-time testers. Start Early Literacy takes about 10 minutes to complete, so it is a very efficient way to get detailed foundational literacy information on your students. On the next few slides, we will share a few sample test items related to the required submeasures. You'll see built-in graphics and audio support that are specially designed for students with pre-reading skills. The words in the red box at the bottom of each item is the audio the student would hear in order to answer the question. These words do not appear on the screen to distract students. They are provided for your information only. Since the words may be difficult to read, I will read the wording out loud for you in a way similar to what your students will hear during the test. So let's start with the first one on the left. Look at the pin. If you change the n sound to k, what new word do you make? Pick the picture of the new word. And on the right, the sound is dir. The pictures are drum, duck, door. Pick the picture whose name begins with dir. On the left, pick the letter that makes the sound k, k. And on the right, pick the word that sounds like bell but ends with d. Sounds like bell but ends with d. Reading comprehension items on Start Early Literacy range from sentence to paragraph comprehension. For more difficult reading items, the audio changes to tell the students to read the passage and answer the question. This allows students who are already readers to show what they know as well. With Start Early Literacy, you will see exactly which skills and sub-skills students have learned, where they need help, and what they're ready to learn next. STAR Reading is an advanced computer adaptive assessment that is appropriate for students who already have basic reading skills. Students who are probable readers, often in 2nd grade and above, can get more rigorous assessment on higher level reading comprehension and other reading skills. This assessment is text-based, and this efficient assessment takes only about 20 minutes on average to complete, but can be broken into several shorter testing sessions if needed. Here are some sample items from the STAR Reading Assessment. Reading passages get more difficult with more complicated vocabulary and questions, but still fit on a single page. This test can demonstrate the specific reading ability of your young readers who are capable of reading text in basic sentences, all the way to those who can already read at the high school level. Now that you've seen a bit about how we assess each required measure, let's move on to some details about test administration and timing. At Renaissance, we recommend that you schedule your STAR tests in a way that works best for your local needs and depending on how and when you're going to use the data. You will need to test in fall, winter, and spring for the Move On When Reading requirements. Total testing times for each student is less than 15 minutes for kindergarten and first grade. Depending on whether students are taking STAR Early Literacy or STAR Reading, second and third grader assessments would take around either 10 minutes or around 20 minutes for each student. All assessments are well under 30 minutes total per student. STAR CBM is delivered in a one-on-one format. Teachers have the ability to choose how to administer the assessment, online or via print, depending on the technology resources that are available and personal preference. Each CBM measure is a 1-minute timed assessment, leaving more time for classroom instruction. There are no rigorous requirements for training before administrators can test students, but it is recommended that educators be familiar with the CBM measures, the online system, and the instructions to students for the most smooth testing experience. Although the STAR Arizona Literacy Assessment may require no specific expertise, we do want our educators to know it is important to have appropriate training experience prior to the first administration to ensure fidelity of assessment. We will give you options for free and paid training later in this presentation. Though the CBM system does have an option for educators to track student responses in print, the online scoring system includes a built-in timer, allows administrators to click in student responses, and will immediately provide total items correct and benchmark coding. If the print option is chosen, teachers will enter student responses online at a later date to get the scores and benchmarks. The scoring system and data tools are entirely online, so no software or app installation is required. Item level scoring and clear reports give you actionable insight into each student's strengths and instructional needs. STAR Early Literacy and STAR Reading computer adaptive assessments are administered with any device with an internet connection and a screen 7 inches or larger. The test is entirely online, so no software or app installation is needed. For STAR Early Literacy, students need to be able to hear the audio either through headphones or a speaker system. These tests can be administered in small groups or to a whole class of students at once, depending on technology resources and teacher preference. There is no detailed requirement for training before students begin to test, although being familiar with the login procedure, troubleshooting steps, as well as having a copy of the instructions to read to students will make the testing go more smoothly for everyone. Although it doesn't require any specific expertise, make sure you know that it's important to have appropriate training experiences prior to the administration of the test. We want to help you turn data into action with a variety of reports to support young readers with literacy. One of the best parts about STAR assessments is the ability to see computer adaptive and CBM scores in a single location. No more comparing two different assessment types in two different locations. Our unified record book is a single location for educators to see the most recent test results, dig into a single student's historical performance, set goals, manage groups, and plan instruction. Having all of the data in one place saves teachers time and empowers them to make the most informed choice about what will best serve their students. With this screener, you can validate which students need intervention. It will recommend further CBM measures that are needed for each student or remind you to enter scores if you chose to give the assessment on paper. All of the scores are calculated for you. Let the computer do the tedious legwork of figuring out which students need more support so that your educators can spend their time teaching. For the computer adaptive tests, or CATs, the screening report serves a similar purpose for school administrators, intervention specialists, coaches, or teachers. This report also shows the students most in need of intervention by grade level or class, along with a number of norm scores like percentile rank. Administrators have a variety of reports available, including longitudinal reports and data visualizations that can compare schools, subgroups, and more. Administrators can create customized reports as well. They will enter the data parameters they're looking for to tailor reports to the metrics they need. These reports are saved for future test administrations. Then they can view that data in a report they can print right from the software or export the data into CSV format for use in Excel or Google Sheets. Full CSV extracts are also available with the data from all assessment products. As a bonus, we also provide parent reports because we know having conversations with parents is important. Educators and parents will appreciate the parent-friendly language on our reports. As we mentioned earlier, there are a variety of options to support educator training before the first testing window in the fall. You need a solution that provides you with the support necessary for successful implementation. A great product means nothing if you don't have the support you need to kick it off and maintain it. Included with STAR assessments are 2 forms of training support. One is our Smart Start portal, which contains a variety of documents and videos to get you started. We also have extensive help documentation that appears on each page within the platform that gives you that just-in-time information and support. At Renaissance, we're committed to leveraging the latest research about teacher professional development and adult learning to help you reach your goals with our programs by offering paid professional development options and delivery methods, online, on demand, or in person, tailored and customized to meet your needs, as well as your time and budget constraints. We can train everyone or provide a train-the-trainer model, as well as data services, coaching, and support at the school or district level. If you are interested in this screener or our other products, please visit our website at www.renaissance.com or call the Arizona product representatives, John White or Terry Bomarito.